ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Prove Me Wrong, the podcast. I am Chris, your host with the most, here once again to have an amazing all-star panel join us to take down, who are they taking down? The champ from last week, Mo Betta. Champ, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm good, Chris. Ready to go, man.
Mo is holding it down every morning on Coffee and Sports. If you're not checking out Mo every morning, you are not starting the morning off correct. We need you to do that, right, Mo?
Absolutely. Join me and Coach on Coffee and Sports in the morning, Monday through Friday at 9.
All right, Mo. Now, hey, I bring the heat every week. All right, I like to keep it real with you. All right, it's not going to be any easier this week. So the first person we got coming on the panel, he underwhelmed a little bit last week. I mean, he said he was going to take the chip, and he was the first one out, but he's back for redemption. Big J, Jordan's in the house. Jordan,
what it do? Hey, I gotta give you your flowers, Mo. That battle was kind of tight between Coach and you, man. But I'm looking at the topics tonight. So, I mean, I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm gonna take that belt. But yeah, you did your thing last week, man.
Now, gentlemen, things are going to get a little uncensored tonight because we're welcoming to the panel the one and the only Rod Uncensored. Rod, welcome to the panel, sir.
It's time to cancel this bloodline and get this belt.
He's all business. The man's all business tonight, all right?
Oh, no.
And then we have our fourth member of the panel, Mr. Facts himself. Welcome, Freddie.
Chris, when you invite me, you had it almost right. The facts itself, the one and only Freddie Facts. And see, this show is called Can You Prove Me Wrong? I'm gonna be spitting out nothing but facts. So Mo, Jordan, Rod, y'all might as well log out because I'm speaking facts. It's already over.
All right, gentlemen, before we get started, we're going to bring in the Prove Me Wrong scoreboard. This is a multi-million-dollar investment by the Sports Empire Network. This thing, I can't even tell you the amount of money that goes into running this scoreboard. Guys in the back, cue it up. Cue up the scoreboard.
Yeah, bring up my name.
Gentlemen, there it is. Beautiful thing. The Prove Me Wrong scoreboard. Let's remind the viewers at home how this works. We're going 5 rounds tonight. We start with a panel of 4. We end up with just 1. Our first 2 rounds, it's the friendship rounds. We just kind of we're all going to get along. It's all love. It's all friendship. No one goes home. After round 2, we make our first elimination. Round 3 is another one. And then we end up, like I said, with just the 1. Remember, the title of the show is Prove Me Wrong. Even if you don't disagree with me, you got to prove me wrong. Last week, we had guys up here saying, Chris, you're right. I mean, I love to hear it, but I don't give out points when you tell me I'm right. I only give out points if you tell me that I'm wrong. Now, gentlemen, we're going to start off with a doozy this week, all right? I don't usually talk this much before I give you a topic, but I'm going to give you a little bit of background, and then we're going to jump into it. Follow along with me if you can. The 2022 Kansas City Chiefs. Think about this. Offensive-minded head coach, star quarterback, one great weapon, dominant defensive lineman, very good young linebacker, and decent to above average at the left tackle and the right tackle positions. With that, Super Bowl champions, all right? Let me talk about the 2023 Rams. Star offensive coach who's won a Super Bowl. Star quarterback who just 2 seasons ago almost 5,000 yards passing, 41 touchdowns. One great weapon, Cooper Kupp. Star defensive lineman, a solid, good young linebacker in Ernest Jones, and they are decent to above average at left tackle and right tackle. But yet they're only projected to win 4.5 games. Gentlemen, the Rams are a playoff team. Prove me wrong. And we're going to start with Freddie.
Oh, man. So I'm going to tell you this. You're absolutely right. The Rams is star-studded. Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald, Sean McVay. If you would have told me that'd be a Super Bowl champion team. But ladies and gentlemen, that team is not the same team that won the Super Bowl. That offensive line is in shatters. I mean, we've seen Matthew Stafford have a neck injury. We didn't even think he was going to play football anymore. We thought this man's career was over. And let's just be honest, who's helping Aaron Donald on that line? Can anybody tell me who's helping him? Leonard Floyd ain't there no more. Leonard Floyd is not there anymore. Oh, and you mentioned Cooper Kupp. Isn't he dealing with a hamstring injury right now, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, can he stay healthy? Because we know Matthew Stafford don't want to throw the ball to anybody other than Cooper Kupp. I mean, good God. I mean, they were saying, can he throw anybody other than Cooper Kupp? That's all he wanted to throw the football to. This team isn't even better than the Seattle Seahawks with Geno Smith, and I think he just got in trouble with a DUI. I don't even think he'll be able to play week 1. And they'll still be better than the Rams.
Time. All right, Big J.
Whoa!
So I'm assuming that you said 4.5 wins on the season, correct? You said that seems about right because that line seems to betting on Matthew Stafford's health. I know his doctors. I know they didn't recommend him playing because didn't he have a spine injury? I mean, I'm looking at the Rams roster. I mean, the wide receiver course was way different than what it was the Super Bowl run. I know Odell Beckham was there. Allen Robinson was there. I can't remember the receiver who had the baby right after the game. I'm not sure. He's not there anymore. The only player that's there is Aaron Donald's there. Cooper Kupp is there, but like Freddie said, he's hurt. Cam Akers is there, but I'm looking at the roster. The receivers are just I don't know them. I don't know Ben Skowronek. I don't even know how to pronounce that name right. So that just proves to me that roster has been different since Super Bowl run, and like I'm assuming that line, that 4.5 win total for the season, is depending on Stafford's health. He's like Tua. He's like one scary hit away from ending his career, and that injury is you don't want to mess with the spine. So, and Cooper Kupp, he's injured, so who knows how he's going to be when the season starts. So, yeah, that roster's in shambles. But Donald's good on that side of the ball. Cooper Kupp,
Time. Big J, word of advice, my man. Don't be taking shots at Tua for no reason. Don't be bringing my guy. Like, if I didn't set you up to take shots at Tua, we don't need you taking unwarranted shots at QB1. Oh, that cost you a point. I'm just saying, taking shots at my guy for no reason.
Y'all take shots at Lamar Jackson, so I'm taking shots at y'all's quarterbacks.
Rod, let's hear it. Rod, you
that's a negative point.
I'm sorry. My fault. It was a famous song by Roy Jones Jr. You must have forgot. And I think the Rams coming back. They got White Chocolate coming back. White Chocolate is back. Cooper Kupp. We got a young wide receiver people sleeping on, a rookie named Xavier Smith from FAMU. Is a speeder. Man, it's a lot of weapons they got, and y'all falling asleep on the best defensive player to whoever straddle in. We can't forget Aaron Donald. Don't say he's a bum or nothing. He still got some juice in the tank. He's better. He looked better than that man J.J. Watt last year. That's all I got to say. But this man is ready for another playoff run. I think they can do it. They got a lot of young boys on that secondary. I think they can make the moves. I think I got them winning that division.
Ron, I love it. I love that you agree with me. But remember, you gotta prove me wrong. I mean, you got a couple of points because you lined up with where I was, so I like that. Mo, bring it home.
Let's start with the quarterback. Best case scenario, Stafford's healthy. The interior of that offensive line is terrible. And what do you want to do against a pocket passer? You get pushed from the inside. Matthew Stafford is going to get beaten on even more this coming season. They have no run game. They've got Cooper Kupp on the outside. But the problem with Cooper Kupp is he's the only threat on the outside. He will be doubled, maybe even triple teamed. Go to defense. Aaron Donald, as great as Aaron Donald is, Who on that line is going to occupy bodies where Aaron Donald can take advantage of his talent or get a one-on-one matchup? That's not going to happen. I can tell you right now, Aaron Donald's going to get maybe 4 sacks top this season. They have nothing at the second level. Average linebackers, horrible secondary. If Sean McVay, in all his genius offensively, can get this team to 500, he should be coach of the year if he can get this squad with this roster top to bottom to 500.
All right, gentlemen. Round 1 has come to a close. We're still in the friendship, guys. It's all right. It's all right. We're all friends.
I'm just warming up.
All right. At the end of round 1, it's Freddie. Freddie to the top of the leaderboard. He's holding the trophy right now. Freddie, that's a very expensive trophy. Do not drop that. That's an expensive graphic that we have up there.
Hey, Chris, can I get Jordan to hold this trophy for him? It's getting kind of heavy.
He might drop it. I don't know. But hey, Jordan, look he's in third right now. He's in the good spot. He's feeling better about himself than he was last week. All right. Now, as we slide to topic number 2, gentlemen, I'm not gonna lie. I made this because I wanted to hear what Freddie was gonna say about it, because I feel like he's gonna have some emotions when it comes to this topic. So let me lay it out for you. I don't have stats like I had with the first topic. I just want to lay it out, and we're going to go. The 2020 Lakers, the 2020 championship winning Los Angeles Lakers, won their championship in the bubble. I'm not saying should. Because they won it in a bubble, it should be viewed differently. Prove me wrong. Freddie?
You're absolutely right. It should be viewed differently. In
a negative way. In not a positive. I don't think it should be equal to other championships that other teams have won any other season outside of the bubble.
You're absolutely right. This should be proved differently, but not in a negative way, in a positive way. You mean to tell me that you put a bunch of grown men, take them away from their wives, from their families, away from females? Chris, you are a man. You a man, and you know us men. We want to be around some females, brother. And you mean to tell me you take them away from months? I'm a huncho men, LeBron, KD, all them type of men. In the way, and so you go what the world was going through, everything was just upside down. You talking about the hardest championship in NBA history. You're talking about, there was guys that had to make them excited to play basketball. I mean, you see guys just going rah, just to get hyped into the game because they didn't have the fans' experience. You're talking about they had no freedom. Their freedom was taken away from. You heard players say this was the most miserable time of their lives, had to play basketball, brother. This was the most hardest championship. I can guarantee that was the hardest championship that they ever had to win. So you mean to tell me that this was the most in the negative side? If anything, this is positive. This was positive because they was able to do something the NFL wasn't able to do. That was the hardest championship that LeBron has ever had to deliver. The hardest one that he's ever had to deliver in his career. I'm just saying that, hey, you was in Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. He was in a room around a bunch of men. The world was dealing with a whole bunch of chaos with the social injustice and all that, and they had to deal with that as well. They was threatening to leave that place. They was ready to walk out the door and leave.
And
that's how tough it was.
Hey, I hear you.
Hey, Chris, you're giving people too many minutes. You're giving people too many more minutes. Come on, man. You give people hours.
I'm also hearing. I mean, you're saying it's hard, but I heard other teams were just smoking and playing video games. So I don't know how hard of a life that is. But Big J, it's up to you.
No, I mean, I hate the fans, the NBA fans who think that the championship was invalid, because it's definitely valid. First of all, there was a pandemic, the social injustice going on. The Bucks and Magic. I mean, we saw that game where Giannis walked off the court. They didn't even play their game. I mean, the Players Association came together, was like, yo, if LeBron, if they're in there, we in there. LeBron was about to leave. think about it. We all men. We have marriages. We have girls. We have families. I mean, think about it. You're in a bubble. You know, you could get sick. You could risk health. And I feel like this bubble was the best. Like if y'all go to the YMCA and play basketball, right? Pick up no crowd, just basketball. This was the absolute, I think, in my opinion, the best basketball ever. I mean, there was no crowd. Obviously, we had the home field advantage, outside the pandemic, but this is strictly 5-on-5, best basketball players in the world going at it, toe to toe. LeBron, Jimmy Butler, Jamal Murray, Jokic, AD hitting that clutch shot over Jokic. So sexy, that shot. Anyway, sorry. But we had people like Zion, like Kyrie,
Chris, how the hell he get 5 points? He said that what I said. He said what I said.
Freddie, hey, the scoreboard scores it the way it scores it, my guy.
I'm just saying.
Hang on. You're arguing with me. That's going to cost you a point, sir. You want to argue with the man who does the points? Boy, oh boy. Gonna learn today is what we're going to do.
Oh man.
Rod, fire it up.
You know what I mean? I think it was, again, Black Jesus, taking people to the bucket. LeBron James. AD, that's the best aggressive AD I've seen in 20 years. He played like Dr. Quinn in the other game. You know what I mean? He even had suspect Dwight Howard stopping Jokic from going to the bucket. Him and McGee just bullying him, telling him blowing on his neck like Lance Stevenson, telling him, you're not coming in this house. This is our championship. So you gotta look at all them things, and like everybody said, the weed man was busy in the bubble. He had like a drone dropping weed off in the in the bubble for these players. It was a busy time in Florida. It was a busy time. You know what I mean? It was some maids getting pregnant. It was crazy. You know what I mean? It was getting caught in the dumpster and stuff, man. It was getting caught in the dumpster having sex with these maids and stuff. That's how bad they had it. It was frustrated. It was bad. You know what I mean? It was like Sega and Gomorrah. I'm glad Jesus stopped the bubble, but it was a great time.
All right, Mo, bring it home.
I will not complain.
First of all, everybody that played in the bubble had the same opportunity to win in the bubble. And I actually thought that the league and the referees made a conscious effort to allow a lot more physicality. We've often talked about the 90s versus the current NBA. That might have been the closest you're going to get to 90s basketball in the current NBA. They allowed a lot of contact. They let guys play. If you watch that Lakers-Denver Nuggets series, one, it gave us a glimpse of what Jokic and Murray could be going down the line. But two, that was a physical series. Like Rod said, they beat Jokic up and they allowed that contact. Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee were basically massaging him front and back. When I look at the competition with what the Lakers were able to do against that Nuggets team, and let's not forget, this season, that particular season, that was the last time Kawhi Leonard and Paul George's season ended while they were on the court. They weren't hurt. They were fully healthy. The Clippers were supposed to be in the conference finals, had a 3-1 lead against that Nuggets team, choked it away. That was the last time. That's probably the closest we will ever see Paul George and Kawhi Leonard as a duo get to a conference final. So when I look at the bubble and I remember what happened in that bubble.
And we got time.
Hey, Mo, that was crazy. That was crazy. That was crazy.
Mo, I'm sorry, Mo. I got tears in my eyes, bro.
Massage in the front and the back.
That's crazy.
Whoa,
That's crazy.
Yo, for that, knock 5 points off the scoreboard, bro.
Gentlemen, we have reached the end of round 2.
Bye, Rod.
Again, the first 2 rounds is the friendship rounds. Freddie, you're still on top. You still got the trophy. You're still pacing. You're pacing the group. Jordan and Mo tied for second. Rod is right there in striking distance. Gentlemen, after round 3, someone goes home. All right? Rod is in the hot seat right now, but Jordan and Mo are not that far away. Freddie, you got a question you raising your hand?
Can I please have my point back?
I'll consider it. Not right now, but I appreciate you asking. It doesn't hurt to ask.
This guy actually asked for his points.
Gentlemen,
Well, I didn't know I could argue. Nobody ever told me that. Like, I knew.
It's kind of common
You're
sense.
learning on
I
the
wouldn't
fly.
argue with the host.
you're learning on the fly. All right, gentlemen, round 3. We're going football movies. All right. And let me hit you with this. I'm going to hit you with a quote before we get into it. And the quote is this: pain heals, chicks dig scars, glory lasts forever. The Replacements with Keanu Reeves is the greatest football movie of all time. Prove me wrong. Freddie, we're starting with you.
Oh man, I gotta go first. I gotta go Facing the Giants. Facing the Giants is like an all-time great. I mean, it just really is. If you want to teach children life values, if you want to teach them how it first starts off in high school football, the Friday Night Lights, it's right then and there. It's right then and there. And then you're talking about an all-star studded lineup with the characters. I mean, it was just that great. I mean, that was probably one of my favorite movies of all time, and it was just that great. I mean, there's no other movie that taught life values. When I watch a movie, I don't want to just watch chaos. I want to watch life values. It taught them young men how to fight for what they wanted in life. It didn't just teach them football. It taught them how to be men. And that's what the problem is a lot of times in the world. We're not teaching men how to be men. And I just believe that movie taught them how to compete. It taught them how to have responsibility.
And time. I like it. You got fired up at the end there. All right, Big J.
This might be a homework pick, but I think the best football movie is The Blind Side. It's been technically about the story about Michael Orr, who came up in poverty, and we live in a world today where it's like and the African American communities and other communities of minority are dealing with struggles and stuff. And Michael Orr, obviously with Sandra Bullock as one of the main stars of the movie, she mentors him and kind of brings him into kind of like being that father figure, even though she's a woman, but being that father figure in his life that he didn't have. It brought a tear to my eye, and I don't really cry that much. It was kind of fabricated in a way in the storyline, but in real life, it came from a father's lifestyle. And that's one of the best movies and the best message that I got. That it doesn't matter what you have or what you're going through. If you can have your goals and stick to your goals, he got to the NFL. So that was his goal. So
and time, my guy, you find the one movie that was made involving the Baltimore Ravens. That's the one. That's probably the only one out there.
It was a sad movie. I ain't gonna.
Can I see you cry? Can you cry now? I want to see it. I want to see it on screen.
All right, Rod. What do you got for me?
Man, mine's this. I was a Black Rudy. You know what I mean? I didn't have too much skills. I ran a 5 flat. I think Rudy is an inspirational movie, man. This man was 5 foot nothing, 150 pounds playing DN. You know what I mean? As a practice player, I can relate to that because I was a practice player. I was playing 5A in Tennessee. So that movie was really inspiring. You know what I mean? Rudy lost his girlfriend to his best friend. The man was going through struggles. He listened to Rod Wave because he was so depressed. You know what I mean? It was depressing. But also, you got to go with Boobie Miles. Boobie Miles wear Nikes. Boobie was kicking punts. He was kicking punts, field goals, and Boobie was doing it. So he got his knee tore up. And I felt that. I said, damn, Boobie's down for the season. They need to win the state championship. And they almost got in at the end, but he didn't get in. And also, Any Given Sunday was a great movie. Willie Beeman. Willie throwing up, you know what I mean? The first option quarterback. He might have been better than Lamar Jackson, might I say. But you know what I mean? It was just different than movies in the 90s. But that's all I got, man. Invincible Polly, too. Invincible was a great underrated movie.
Oh,
that was a good one. That's a really good one, Rod. That's a good one.
Bring it home, Mo.
For me, it's easy. It's Remember the Titans. Remember, the Titans hits on everything. It's a small town where football is everything. There's racial unrest. Black coach comes in, African-American coach comes in, and immediately establishes he's going to do it his way. Actually got hired over the assistant coach that people thought was going to be the heir apparent. A lot of the kids on the team were resisting his way of coaching because of race. The team was separated because of race. He takes them away from their homes. They go out in training, and one night in the middle of the night, he gets them all up in the morning, and they take them on a long run. And then they start bonding. He starts talking about being in the trenches, bonding, what you can do with combat, how men come together. And I remember when he was asking them, and he's screaming, he's like, "Will you ever quit?" And they were all saying no. There's a big scene before a game when the two best players bond, the two best defensive players, and it's strong side, weak side, strong side, weak side. To me,
And
remember
time,
the Titan hits.
time.
No, look, I'm
Mo Betta with the rally at the end of round 3.
Woo!
man.
Woo!
Chris, I think
Coming
you gave
from the bottom.
Woo!
I think you gave Rod an extra point after the time expired, man.
Hey yo! I'm doing my jitter, brother. I'm doing my jitter.
I mean, look at his background, yo. That's inappropriate for sure, man.
All right, Jordan.
Oh
You-
man.
Listen,
Oh,
it didn't
Lord,
go
have
the way we
mercy.
wanted it to go, but that's all right.
Yeah,
You get 30 seconds. The floor is yours. Talk about whatever you want before you head on out of here.
yeah. It's it's a good show. I thought I would come in second after the second round, but you gave a point after the time tried to Rod. It's all right. It's all good. It is what it is, man. So
Hey.
it's a good show.
What looking at?
I like skin.
Can I say one
Now,
thing, Chris?
Freddie, I took 2 more points away from Jordan because he criticized my scorekeeping. All right,
I won't
just so
do
you
that.
see that. Just so you see that.
I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, my job is done. I don't care who wins now. I just get to lose to Jordan. My job is
That's so
done.
wrong. That's so wrong.
All right, gentlemen, we're about to hit round 4. After round 4, one more of you is going to go home. We're jumping to college football.
Oh, Lord, here I go.
And we're going to talk about running backs because unlike the NFL, in college, the running back position is not undervalued. And we're going to talk about the greatest running back of all time. And that is the man that ran for 6,279 yards in his 4 college seasons. He was a 2-time unanimous All-American. He was the first ever 2-time winner of the Doak Walker Award. He won a Heisman Trophy in 1998. And when he left college football, he was the all-time leading rusher in college football. And that man is Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams is the greatest running back in the history of college football. Prove me wrong.
Who going first?
Freddie.
I appreciate that. But that's somebody else, Chris. Barry Sanders. Because you know what? I just think we all see that running backs, the tolls that it takes on their bodies. Just imagine, we all know what Barry Sanders did on the professional level. But this young man had an outstanding, and I mean outstanding career in college. You talking about for 3 years, Sanders had over 3,500 rushing yards. We're talking on the collegiate level. We're talking about in college with 49 touchdowns. He had the yards. He did the most important thing was split the ball in the end zone, score the football. I mean, and then you go to the professional level and have a year like that, have the career that he had one of the best. He's like I said, when we're talking about quarterbacks, running backs, the reason why they can't get paid on the pro level is because their body does not last like on other positions. For him to have that collegiate career that he did and still have the professional level is outstanding. So that's what makes him the greatest.
And
I mean the
time.
greatest.
All right, Rod, fire it up. Let's hear it.
We gotta go with R.C. Griffin, the first back-to-back Heisman winner. He won the Heisman twice. Who done that? Who won the Heisman twice except for him? You know what I mean? He might not have the touchdowns, but he took it unanimously by himself 2 times. You gotta go with Reggie Bush. Everybody was jiving Reggie Bush with the face paint on. He made USC electric. He was electrified running back. People was trying to be like Reggie Bush. You know what I mean? You got to go also. You also got to go with a couple other people like DeMarcus Dupree. He don't get enough praise. He was nasty with Oklahoma, high stepping on people. You can go. You can also go Eric Dickerson with that small pony thing. The small pony express. He was electrifying. You know what I mean? 2 running backs in the backfield, him just eating. You know what I mean? It was different times, man. It was better people better than Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams was the greatest Texas running back of all time. Him and Campbell, but you gotta go with the backs I named.
All right, Mo, bring it home.
I would start with in Texas. Ricky might be the all-time leading rusher, but I think the most famous running back, the one that's most revered in Texas history, that's Earl Campbell, the Texas Red Rose, the Red Rose of Texas. Then go to Oklahoma State. Barry Sanders. Look at Barry Sanders' career. I don't know the exact numbers, but I know Barry dropped a 2,000-yard season in college. Barry Sanders was dominant in college, which was a prelude to what he was going to do in the pros. Every time you played Oklahoma State, you knew what was coming. Barry is the only thing in town, and nobody still could stop Barry Sanders. He's the most dominant running back to me when you look at what was around him on both sides of the ball. I think Barry Sanders holds up against the test of time. And I'll throw out another name. Marcus Allen rushed for 2,400 yards in one season. That's probably the most dominant single season in the history of college football. But for the best running back of all time, it's got to be Barry. It's got to be Barry Sanders. He was playing out dominant.
Time. All right, Mo. Again, sneaking past the cutoff. I told you guys, 1 trophy graphic, really expensive. I can't even begin to tell you how much 2 trophy graphics is costing us right now. Rod, you came hard tonight. You brought it, and I appreciate that. But we gotta say goodbye. But before we say goodbye, the floor is yours. 30 seconds.
Come check me out tomorrow for the midday show, Midday Sports with Rod on Rod Uncensored Net channel on YouTube. Also, you can follow me at RodPod21 on Instagram. And I appreciate you for you having me on here.
So look down, Rod.
Appreciate you, Rod.
Ladies and gentlemen, I definitely won now. Now that Rod's gone, as much crap he gives me, hey, Mo, have the trophy, brother. You won.
It's not like that.
All right, gentlemen, we are tied going into the final round. We had a close one last week. It's even closer this week. The final topic is NBA. When I gave you the pre-notes, all I told you about this was Steph Curry. That's all I gave you, right?
Yeah.
So here's where we are. Steph Curry has had the greatest impact on the sport of basketball, bar none. Prove me wrong. Freddie, we start with you.
Last time I checked, they say Eric Kobe. People want to be like Kobe. I understand what Steph done. But Kobe being Bryant, you have people that play basketball. You have people that just work at a 9-to-5. A 9-to-5. They want to be like Kobe. They want to have that Mamba mentality about life, about situations. They want to have that competitor attitude with everything that they go through. The dedication, the hard work, the not giving up. Want to be like Kobe, Eric Kobe. They get the paper like this, and they yell out, Kobe. That's what they want to be like. They want to be like Kobe. These younger athletes, they're not saying they want to be like Steph. They're saying they want to be like Kobe. They want to have that fight, that grit, that grind, the dedication, the work ethic, not giving up, that Mamba mentality. The Mamba mentality is what drives these younger athletes.
Freddie, you just have paper next to you? You just had the paper ready?
Yeah, had it ready.
Man, I have props.
I like
ready.
it.
He had props ready.
He brought props to the show. Come on now. All right, Mo Betta, you've been in this position almost every round tonight. Can he close it out? 60 seconds. The floor is
Have
yours.
grace on me, Mo. Merry grace, brother.
Well, let's start like this. The actual commercial says, I want to be like Mike. That's the actual commercial. They don't want to be like Kobe. They want to be like Mike. And to be correct, Kobe wanted to be like Mike. Michael Jordan took what Magic Johnson and Larry Bird did and exploded the NBA and made it international. Michael Jordan's tennis shoes to this day, 30 plus years after he plays, outsells everybody. 30 years later, he doesn't make new shoes. He makes retros. He reinvents old shoes, and we buy them like they're new. 10-time scoring champ, 6-time NBA champ, 6-time finals MVP, 5 times regular season MVP. Michael Jordan's impact on the game, he's the reason why guys get paid now. Not just dominant on the court, but dominant in the business world. The Nike brand, it is the GOAT of shoes because of Michael Jordan. Remember that as much as Kobe Bryant did, he's Kobe Bryant's favorite player. If Kobe Bryant's your favorite player, his favorite player is Michael Jordan. That's the GOAT.
Gentlemen, that is time. Mo, once again, coming from the back, ending up with the trophy for the second consecutive week. Freddie, you were up there the entire night. The entire night you were up. Mo had that in his back pocket. He was rattling off stats. He was like, I feel like Mo just comes to parties ready to defend Michael Jordan.
Hey, like I said, I don't have a problem losing. I love to lose to Mo better. I don't mind losing as long as it's to that man. But I'd be damned if I lose to Jordan and if I lose to Rod. I'd be doggone. That's all I care about.
Shout out to Jordan.
I don't care about losing to Mo. Hey, I told Mo this on the phone the other day. If it come to debating, this brother's better than me. But hey, I'd be doggone if I say that Jordan and Rod is better than me. No, I'm Freddie Facts. No, that's Mo better though. He's better.
All right, Freddie, you gave it your all, but this is where we say goodbye to you. And Mo, return the floor over to you. End of the show.
I just want to say it's a blast to be on this show, Chris. I'm glad you created this format, man. I hope more people in the Sports Empire Network come on and participate in this because it's really fun and it's a friendly kind of competition. So I look forward to this. I appreciate you creating this, and I'm glad for you having me on.
Mo, once again, always a pleasure, sir. Check out Mo on the mornings, every single morning, Monday through Friday, Coffee and Sports. Him and Coach always bringing the heat first thing in the morning. Big shout out. Thank you to the rest of our all-star panel tonight. Freddie, Big J, Rod Uncensored. For me, I am Chris, your host. I will see you all with Mo, 2-time champion. We'll see you right here next week, 9 p.m. Eastern time for Prove Me Wrong.